Do you care about the environment? Of course you do. Who doesn't? My name is Nolan Handyside, and I'm discussing the Volkswagen emission scandal that occurred between 2014 and 2016. So in 2014, a group of scientists from West Virginia University were conducting a study to determine or to try to prove that diesel engines were clean and very good for the environment. And they were studying discrepancies in greenhouse gas emissions, specifically CO2 and NO2, or carbon dioxide and nitric dioxide. What they found with Volkswagen in particular was that there was a very large discrepancy in these emissions in the European Union that reported the data and the United States, since each country or European bloc report their data independently. And what they found was a large discrepancy. And the EPA stepped in, and so after the scientists reported the data to the EPA, the EPA contacted Volkswagen saying, hey, this is not good, we will not certify these cars. And in the US, if the car is not certified by the EPA, it cannot drive on the road. So they were contacted, they repeated the test the scientists performed to confirm that this is true. And what the scientists originally from West Virginia University had come up with was accurate, and they verified what the scientists found. So the EPA was on the same page, and Volkswagen said, no, our cars are fine, and they denied the claims. And so originally, so they acknowledged eventually that they did lie, and they issued an apology, and immediately their stock fell 20%. And they were fined by so many countries there: India, China, US, the European Union even acknowledged it too, and the German Motor Agency, which is where Volkswagen is based, they looked at it and they were like, yeah, this is not good, and they fined Volkswagen as well, which is their home country, their own EPA, I guess, for cars. So Volkswagen wanted to make it right. It was a very complicated situation to make right. But eventually Michael Horn, the CEO at the time, announced that himself and the board of Volkswagen had come to a mutual agreement, and that he will step down as CEO effective immediately. So going forward, they found that Volkswagen agreed to refit or do buybacks for up to 11 million vehicles. And so Volkswagen spent $7.3 billion to basically cover up this scandal. And just to cover it up, not to do any kind of compensation or buyback programs. And eventually, they were fined up to, I believe, $5 billion by the US government, and thousands of vehicles were recalled, and they're actually stored in sites all across the country, one of them being in Pontiac, Michigan. Because the main court case that actually happened was took place in a district court in southeast Michigan. So I think that's kind of cool. I don't know. It's a little fun fact. It's a major global scandal that happened right here in our backyard. So I find that very interesting. And so going forward, I think a major way that so Volkswagen tried to make it right, and they did okay. Like, the CEO stepped down, they acknowledged it. They eventually paid the fines that made it right financially with customers. But I believe that if they were to redo it, they definitely should not have lied. That's not good for any company for any reason, to lie to the public, because their stock went down 20%, 20%, which is a lot of money to lose. And it really made the public, really across the world, I guess, lose trust in Volkswagen. And so I think going forward, if it were to happen again, I think Michael Horn steps down, the CEO at the time, they issue buybacks, compensation for customers, and they just acknowledge it right away, and they fix it. But right now, I think, things happened how they happened. Can't go back and change it. So I think Volkswagen just needs to, they are doing a not bad job right now, but they need to really promote the whole environmentalism aspect of their cars, because not a lot of people trust Volkswagen the same way they did before they lied. People believe that Volkswagens are dirty, not good for the environment, and they have a good reason to believe that. And Volkswagen needs to earn our trust back. And I think the way they do that is by continuing buybacks if they're still occurring, or just really kind of promoting the environmental aspect of their company. I think if they do those things, and they have a CEO that promotes honesty throughout the company as well, because a major issue is trust, and the only way to get that back, if you can, is just be honest and be upfront and transparent with the public and the government agencies that you must rely on to have your products sold in various countries. So if they do those things going forward, I believe that Volkswagen will one day, maybe way down the road, but they will get back to a good position. They may not get back to where they were before, but their stock will improve. The trust will restore to whatever degree it can. I can't predict that, but I think that's the best route that Volkswagen can take at this time. Also, I apologize for my camera being shaky. I don't have anyone to help me record this, so I'm holding it with my hand. So I do apologize, and that is my case study or report.